This is the real Tom Rose, and in order to solve this problem, you need to know some weird rules of logs. And I have to confess, I had to look these up. I did not remember these rules. But the way that this works is the two rules that you need to know are that if you have a number multiplied by the log of something, that is the equivalent. So 2 log x is the equivalent of log x squared. And you also need to know that if you have the log of a binomial, that you can split that apart. So log of 4x minus 2 is equal to log of 4x minus log of 2. So that way you can do kind of algebra on logs. So we're going to do both of those things. So we end up with log 2 plus log x squared and log of 4x minus 2 becomes log of 4x minus log of 2. Now, cool things that happen here are the 2 and the 2. So we have, you can start to see that it looks like, it's like, oh man, it looks like we're going to have some kind of weird quadratic equation thing going on. We got an x squared, we've got an x, and we've got some plain numbers terms here. So let's try to play into that. So let's move all these to one side of the equation. So we'll get log x squared minus log of 4x. We have plus log 2 and then plus another log 2. So this is plus 2 log 2 equals 0. I'm going to do that same trick that we just did a moment ago, where we cancel out the 2 here and we put that in there. So that's almost like log to the log 4. And now let's do the thing in reverse. Let's do this thing in reverse, where now we're going to say log of, and we're going to put all of these inside the parentheses. Well, log of x squared minus 4x plus 4. Yep, equals 0. And just like when you solve a quadratic, you know how you're looking for a situation where you're like, well, how do I get, we can factor this into a binomial, and what you're always looking for is like, well, what'll make that 0, right? In this case, if we want to solve this, you need to know one other thing about logs, which is that log of 1 equals 0. You just need to know that. This is the dastardly little part of this, right? This little section is what makes this problem a ridiculously hard problem. It's not just hard, it's ridiculously hard. You need to know log of 1 equals 0. Because what that means is that anything that makes the inside part of this equal to 1 is a solution to this equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that x squared minus 4x plus 4 equal to 1, and that will solve it. Now we can subtract 1 from both sides, and you end up with, go up here, x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0, and we can solve that quadratic equation now. So this is, this must be x minus 1, x minus 3. And what you get here are the roots x equals 1 and 3. And I'm not sure why the 3 is not listed on the answer choice, but we've got x equals 1 right there. So we're going to pick the fourth answer choice. And I'm sure if you take that 3 and you push it all the way up this whole chain, eventually when you get to the top, you realize that 3 doesn't solve it for some reason. Or maybe it does, and that's just a little error in this question. Either way, we've got the 1. That's the answer choice we're going to pick.